Good evening, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Tom here for a very special away fan show. As we build up to the weekend's game away at Everton, thank you Sky Sports to do a 5:30 kickoff. What more can we say to you boys? What brilliant time and a bonfire night. Let's Leicester fans have to travel all the way up to Merseyside for 5:30. Thanks for that. As we build us to Everton away, well, what can say is another must win if we want to start pulling away from the relegation zone. Today, I'm joined by, well, a character and a half, Speedomick. Some of you may know about Speedomick, some won't know about him, but I'll get him on and he can explain more. Evening, Mick.
Evening, how you doing? Go ahead up the trophies and all that.
Thanks for coming on, bud. Before we start, Mick, explain the whole Speedomick, because I used to stand next to the away end. I've seen you many occasions there in your Speedos, carrying your bucket around. I think, Leicester fans are very generous about giving you cash. Explain what you do, mate. Explain the charities you do it for.
All right. Well, it was doing it for like the Woodlands Hospice, which is in Liverpool, which is well, it's a hospice. You that's the last place you're going to be. You know what I mean? So you get taken care of there, and you look after the families. And you got Everton in the community. There's a lot with mental health. You know what I mean? Julia's house from Bournemouth, which is a kids' hospice. You know what I mean? Which is an end of life stuff. So loads of different charities and some personal causes as well. My little mate called Lewis, who I'm always with, the little lad in the wheelchair, and we were trying to hopefully going to get him some an operation that was going to get him to walk again. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that never happened. But he got a brand new chair instead. You know what I mean? An electric chair and stuff. And other young little kids with cancer was doing walks for them. Charlie's Chance. Do you know what I mean? Who needed treatment for the cancer and he couldn't get it in this country. Just stuff like that. But now I've started my own charity, which is the Speedomick Foundation, and I go out on walks basically, and giving grants out to other charities that have already got the services up and running. They've already got the service users. You know what I mean? So it's all set up, but they desperately need cash to keep these services running. So I now run around, the countryside and the cities and stuff in my speedos like a naked Robin Hood, giving grants out to other charities through the Speedomick Foundation, but through the generosity of many football fans, you know what I mean, and Leicester fans included. And I'm going to give you an instance of when you were there, right? And when I first started and stuff like that, it was, you know what I mean, I was getting a little bit of stick, which you would, you know what I mean? But as soon as people started hearing about what was going on, all the fans were great, no matter where they came from. Do you know what I mean? The Liverpool fans, even, you know what I mean? You think they'd just give me loads of stick, but they just got right on board with it and used it as well. The Leicester fans were absolutely fantastic. And this one time, they brought me across. They were all trying to give me money across, from where I was sitting in the park end, right by. So the busies end up coming across and getting me, taking me over to use, you know what I mean? I'm in my knickers, like, with me bucket, and I'm not messing, mate. The fans, the Leicester fans, were just like, bang. And I had all £10, £20 notes and all that in me speedos. And they were all just putting loads of money in the bucket, you know what I mean? And that's what it's been like anyway for me on the, you know, on with the football family and stuff like that. I'm a, you know, we're the worst rivals, and we give each other stick and stuff like that. But you know, when it comes to charity and good causes and stuff, the football family, mate, is not like them. You know what I mean? And I'll say that about the Liverpool fans and all, mate. They've been absolutely fantastic. They've done exactly the same as you did at their ground. You know what I mean? But yeah, obviously, so yeah, so that's. So anyway, the reason I've got my speedos on is I swam the English. I've got to, you know, I'll let you know. So I swam the English Channel. I had a, you know, we had a, you know, I had a not a rough ride. I made some really bad decisions in my life. Do you know what I mean? Become addicted to alcohol and drugs. I came homeless, lost my family, lost my hope, lost my self-respect, lost my dignity, lost anything that meant anything to me. You know, in the doorway, and you know, you see them each every day. You know, when I was that person, mate, I never had no hope from coming back from that. But I got the support I needed when I needed it. Not in 6 weeks' time, like you get, you know, off the government or whatever else. Do you know what I mean? You've got to wait. Yeah. By that time, you're in a different frame of mind, mate. The wanting to sort your life out is gone. You know, and anyway, so I got the help I needed, and I'm 20 years clean and sober, and which is amazing for this man who just could not stop, and if it did stop, it was maybe for a day. You know what I mean? I couldn't stay stopped. So now my life's changed around, and so all I'm doing is giving back, and I'm doing it in a pair of knickers.
I personally have got a lot of admiration for you, mate, because sadly I lost my mum through alcohol. She was an alcoholic for 10 years. At the age of 24, I sadly lost her. You know, for the age of 14 to 24, I watched herself drink herself to death. And I've so much, for people who have admitted it's a horrible disease to have. And I've so much respect for you, mate, you know, for what you did to turn your life around. It's truly remarkable thing you have done, mate. And now to be giving it back and using the football family and getting the football family involved, I've so more respect, mate, because it's not as easy thing to do. And as you know, there's the banter and everything, but mate, fair play to you, fair play.
Oh, geez, mate, I'm really sorry to hear about your mum as well, mate. And it's a devastating disease, mate. It ruins us. It ruins families, communities. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, man, it's heartbreaking. It's a heartbreaking thing to watch somebody do that to themselves. The loved ones watching them slowly on a daily basis. Do you know what I mean? You know, kill themselves in installments, basically. You know what I mean? And it's terrible, mate. It's a terrible thing to watch, because I've watched it now myself. So I've been on both sides of the tracks. You know what I mean? But there is hope. So with anybody, you know, without just leaving it out there, for anybody who is out there and who is struggling, anybody who is listening, who knows that they're in a bit of trouble, you've got to reach out, mate. You've got to do the opposite of what your head tells you to do, because what your head will tell you to do is isolate, don't say nothing, keep your mouth shut. No one needs to know, and all that stuff. When it's that, what you need to do is the opposite of that, and you have to just open your mouth and just say, "Listen, I'm in trouble. I need a bit of help." And get honest. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I've done. I just asked someone for help. I just went, "Please help me," and they did. You know what I mean? Even though I was a bleeding nightmare at the time, I didn't think anyone was going to give me any help anymore, because I kept throwing it back at them. But they did, mate, and this is the result of people not giving up on me. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, you can get the help. You know what I mean? If you want it, if you got the desire.
Definitely. Let's go to football. This season, Everton currently sit 12th in the league, 13 played 13, won 3, drawn 5, lost 5, -1 goal difference with 14 points. What's your thoughts on this season? Because obviously, you know, last season you saved it by the skin of your teeth. Leicester gave you a lifeline, letting you win at the King Power for our sins. You beat them Palace to guarantee survival on a
Yeah,
3-2 topsy-turvy night at Goodison Park, one of my favourite grounds to go to. And
yeah,
now you stayed up and you started rebuilding, and now you went aside two players that I wanted Leicester to go and sign in Connor Cody and James Tarkowski in your back line. What has
yeah.
Lampard done to this team and turned it around so much?
Well, what he's done, mate, he's given them the belief that they never had. Do you know what I mean? They obviously never had the belief. You know, like you said, we got through by the skin of our teeth. You know what I mean? You seen what it was like. It's like we just won the World Cup. You know what I mean? And, when we beat Crystal Palace, like. But yeah, he's given them the belief that, you know what I mean, and the trust as well, I suppose, that you know they are better. They are better players than what they were showing on the pitch. You know what I mean? Last season, the season before that, and the same season before that. You know what I mean? Um, so that's what he's given them belief in themselves, mate. I mean, look, just look. This is the best um, indicator is Iwobi. Just look at Iwobi, mate. He's unbelievable. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, he's not like it, but he's not. You know, he's not going to be getting. We're not going to sell him for millions more and more or anything like that. But just look at the difference he's making. Look at the difference in his football. Look at the difference in the confidence he's got. Do you know what I mean? And that just that sort of, you know, resonates through the team as well. Then, you know, so he's given them confidence and the self belief that they're better than what they were doing. Do you know what I mean? And no one wants to go on the pitch. Nobody. I don't care who you are, who you're playing for. No one wants to go on the pitch and play half a game. You know what I mean? Or be, you know, not put their heart and soul into it. You know what I mean? So, and that's what it looked like they were doing for a good few seasons, which breaks the fans' hearts because it doesn't look like they're bothered. Do you know what I mean? But now they're putting a shift in. Well, most of the time they still seem to drop off a bit. I mean, we're not far. What are we? 4 points away from you?
Yeah, I was going to say it's very tight at the bottom. Leicester are currently on 11 points. You're on 14, so 3 points. So win a
Three.
Leicester, we
You know
go
what I mean,
level with
mate?
you. You just got a better difference goal. It's so close from the, you know, if you look at from
Yeah.
Forest to the ninth to, if we're going to go 10 points, Fulham at a seventh, the 10 points between seventh and, you know, 20th at the end day. It's not a lot. It sounds a lot,
Mate,
but it isn't a lot.
it's not, mate. It's really, really tight. And if you can win 3 games on the trot,
Exactly. You're
you're
suddenly up
gonna
there.
go. You're gonna go into the Al stratosphere for us. You know what I mean? So
I'll ask you about a couple of players. This man was always going to be mentioned tonight. Paul
yeah,
says, your thoughts on Damari Gray? My thoughts is you've got a very talented player there who's got a lot of potential over the years, shown the potential at Leicester, but never really consistently performed. What is Evertonians' thoughts on Damari Gray after a year, one season and 13 games at the moment? What are your thoughts on Damari?
well, I agree entirely on that. On what your what the Leicester fans just said there. He's immensely talented. Do you know what I mean? He's fast. He can score goals. He can do all that stuff. But he hasn't got the Iwobi thing in his head, mate. The mentality. He hasn't got that going on. That's what he needs. Do you know what I mean? Every player, it starts here, mate. It doesn't start in your feet. Do you know what I mean? The ability is always there, but the mentality is not. You can lose that, you know what I mean, at a moment's notice. And he's lost it, mate. He's lost it. He's just not there, you know what I mean? But he can take players on. He's aggressive with these plays. A little bit greedy, though, as well. He could
Yeah.
pass the ball into, you know what I mean, good areas, man. And he's just trying to dribble, you know what I mean, 13 players. Do you know what I mean?
Or
Before
the common one for Leicester was he'll cut inside onto his right, and every time he shoots to the top corner, that was Leicester fans' biggest problem. You're getting in an area where you're thinking, just roll it into the box now, and then he shoots, and you're like, seen that
yeah.
40, 50 times tomorrow. It's too obvious now, and you've only scored one wonder goal from it, and that was away at Man United. it's one of those, you need to change it up what you're doing. But the other two players, obviously, well, a few players, you got obviously the two new defenders for you, and as I mentioned, James Tarkowski and Connor Cody. Connor Cody for me was a player Leicester should have gone for at the time, but a lot of people say he's old. Well, on loan for one season, what he has done for you boys and James Tarkowski in settling your back line, well, just phenomenal in my view, because I think he's a class. Both of them are class defenders in this league.
Well, the difference that they've made is enormous, really, because you've only got to look at the goals that we've been scoring, which isn't many. It's not many, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it's the goals that we haven't conceded, mate. We've scored. We've had two teams. I think it was Aston Villa and somebody else who scored 2 goals against us last season, mate. People were scoring 3s and 4s past us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've shut the back door, you know, and you know, we've just, you know, we beat who was it? Oh, it was Crystal Palace, wasn't it again? Sorry, Crystal Palace, 3-0. And we never, you know, without conceding, but we were just conceding that one goal, and that was the difference. It was just keeping that door shut. Of us, you know, just getting a point or getting, you know what I mean, or even getting 3. You know what I mean? Even against Liverpool, you know what I mean. We done great there as well against them. Played it great. That's the one of the best derbies we've had for a long time. Do you know what I mean? But the two golden signings for us, you know what I mean, to steady, slightly said to steady the ship, because when the season started and we were playing Chelsea first game, and I was just like, do you know what I mean? I'm thinking, you know, worried that we were going to get a trouncing 5-0, and then it all starts again, all the mentality, all going, you know what I mean, all like that again. And, but we've got beat 1-0, but we played all right, great in the second half. You know what I mean? Not so good in the first. You know, but
yeah, I was going to say, you know, you've bounced back this season phenomenal in some ways, because, you know, a lot of fans would have had you straight down again, the relegation candidates' favourites. And then obviously the young man who stayed with you and didn't choose Chelsea, I was going to say, in Anthony Gordon, even though the 60 million price tag's being chucked around. How good is this kid? He looks phenomenal when you see him play. He's another one who's a young lad, got so much potential, but I think he's got a head on him to, you know when he can go and when he can't go, and what he's going to do compared to Damari, and that he's going to work for this opportunity.
Yeah, I think the thingy word you used there is potential. You know what I mean? Because he's not consistent, is he? In his, you know, his attacking prowess, his speed, you know what I mean? It's great. We all love players who like Damari Gray, you know what I mean, and Gordon, who would dribble and taking people on, running down the wing. You know, every team loves players like that. We've got a few of them, you know what I mean? But sometimes he just seems a little bit lackluster, you know what I mean? And he hasn't got the spirit about him, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, Chelsea was going to buy him for 60 million, mate. So I don't see 60 million pounds worth there on the pitch playing for Everton. You know what I mean? And sometimes I think we should have let him go. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And capitalised on the money. You know,
but at the same, Harry Maguire got 80 million, so we can't really say much.
Say that again.
I said we can't really say much. We got 80 million for Harry Maguire.
Yeah, 80 mil, lad. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes, but we, you know, we sell our best players, and we've been doing that for years instead of keeping them. You know what I mean? Because we've been trying to keep the finances all level and all that stuff. And you can't keep doing that if you want to progress as a team. You've got to keep your best. You've got to keep your best players, mate. And your best players need to want to stay and play for you and all. You know what I mean? So there's a combination of things going on there. Like, but I think he is potentially a really good player. You know, but he's not showing that ability consistently for Everton at the moment.
So going into the weekend, mate, what do you think the starting lineup? Is Frank Lampard keeping the same team week in, week out, or do you think he'll make changes this weekend?
No, I think he's gonna. I think he'll just keep them. You know what I mean? Because we, like you say, we're sort of consistent. Do you know what I mean? In the goals and stuff like that concerned. At the back, we're consistent anyway. You know, and when we play well, we have been playing. We've been on fire. Do you know what I mean? Bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? Pass and move, pass and move. It's been great. You know what I mean? The O'Neill goal against who was it? Was it? It might have been Crystal Palace. Was it the third goal, or is it O'Neill? O'Neill.
Yeah, I think you know. Yeah.
Anyway, that goal, mate, was absolutely fantastic. Do you know what I mean? From start to finish, so we can play like that, you know. And but we're still, you know, we're not. You don't know what's going to turn up on the day. But as far as yourselves are concerned, you know what I mean. You know, I'm thinking we might be able to take you. You know what I mean? Especially if we're on points. But use a. You know, it takes something like going that, you know, down to get some of the players to start playing at the level they should be playing. You know what I mean? Sometimes, but sometimes, mate, it's hard graft to dig your way out of that bottom three. Do you know what I mean? It's just graft.
But I like you say, so once you're down there to get out, difficult. Paul says, thoughts on Everton moving ground? I love Goodison as a away ground. What is your thoughts on this new super ground that they're built by the River Mersey? Because it looks impressive for a new ground.
Yeah, man, we're on the banks of the River Mersey, mate, which is going to absolutely slaughter the Red Nits. Do you know what I mean? We're on the banks of the River Mersey, mate, you know, so, but it looks great. They're knocking it up at some speed at the moment, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's going to be a cracker, you know.
When does that move happen?
I think there's about another 2-3 years left, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's 2, you know. But mate, to be honest, I wouldn't even believe that we were going to get it. I thought something would go wrong. Do you know what I mean? The Everton mentality. Like, you know what I mean? Something will go wrong. You know what I mean? They'll pull the money out, or this will happen. That, you know what I mean? There'll be a war, and we won't get our ground. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And but now I believe. You know, I believe we are going to get the ground, but I'm torn, like every Everton fan, because Goodison Park, mate, is just an iconic ground. Do you know what I mean? It's just a fantastic, you know, the atmosphere.
I love going to that, mate.
So do I. Do you know what? I was at Fulham's ground the other night when we played Fulham.
Oh yeah,
you know,
0-0.
Yeah, it was 0-0. But you know what, mate? You know, the ground inside, it was boss, and I loved it, mate.
I love going to the old grounds. So
don't want to miss Goodison Park, mate. It's been a lot of, you know, we've all grew up there, sneaking in the turnstiles when we were kids and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's going to be badly missed, mate. But we need to move on. We need to get a big stadium and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So we can. You know, raise a bit more revenue, you know what I mean? And we can maybe get Pink Floyd in there singing a few songs.
Sean says, who is your favourite player? Is that so? I go from all-time favourite player, whoever played for your football club, and then who's currently your favourite player in the squad?
Well, I think the best player, mate, is some, you know, what's the best player? You see, we had, the thing is, we had Neville Southall as our goalie, mate. One of the world, you know what I mean, underestimated goalies in the world, even though he obviously played for Wales stuff. But we had him, you know what I mean. We had Alan Ball. It was unbelievable. Bjarne had told me some things about him. Once he was on the pitch, I don't know who we were playing, but he's just dribbled around about, you know, 3 or 4 phases. And he got the ball in the corner. And he just stopped it in the corner and sat down on the ball like that for a minute. Do you know what I mean? And then go and started doing his thing again. She got Alan Ball and Brian LeBone, You know what I mean? And you know, I love. My era was like in the 70s. You know what I mean? So you had Michael Lyons. You know what I mean? Bobby Latchford. You know, all them big Bob Latchford mates, and you know, and so yeah, you know, there's so many to choose from. So, but the 70s, you know what I mean? You know, when you know, it was all seemed to be all Merseyside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, but Bobby, I love Bobby Latchford and Alan Ball and Brian the Bone and all that stuff, mate. Yeah, you know them players.
And finally, what's your prediction score for the weekend?
Right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say we've just had a 0-0 against Fulham, but we had a 3-0 before that, a win. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say a 2-1 for us because we seem to be letting at least one goal in. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna say that it's at Everton's ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1, mate. It's at home as well, so you know what I mean. Yeah, I'll say 2-1 for us, of course.
2-1. Thank you so much for coming on, Mick. What I'll do is I'll get the link off you for your foundation.
And if we win, we go above the red nits, mate. Just a little one.
Just a little one.
Yeah.
What I'll do, mate, is I'll get your foundation link and we'll post it on the video, mate. So if Leicester fans want to come over and chuck some cash your way, then they can, mate. All right.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, listen, I'm going on. So what I do is I do my walks just quickly. I do my walks in the winter. I do them in my spads. You know what I mean? In my speedos from Land's End to John O'Groats. The last one I done was 2,500 miles, which is England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to do another one this winter. I'm going to be giving grants out. So if there's any charities from Leicester that support mental health, disadvantaged young people or homelessness, get in touch with the Speedomick Foundation, go onto the website, do you know what I mean? And look, there's a form there you can fill in and you can apply for a grant and we'll give you a grant, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do the walk.
Brilliant.
And as I'm doing a walk, starting on like about the 12th of December, we think we'll be able to give the grants out to keep their services up and running, you know what I mean? Just to say a big massive thank you to all the fans and everybody else who's donated as well. All right.
Well, thank you so much, Mick. Take care and we'll catch up
No
soon.
worries.
Right.
Get me on Facebook. Speedomick. Go ahead.
Cheers, mate. See you later, mate. Bye. And there we go. Speedomick. What a character. What a legend of football. And what a legend for all he does for charity. Thank you for everyone who's been watching tonight. It's been a cracking show and always nice to do a bit of live now and then. As always, we'll have plenty of build up to the weekend and obviously there'll be a watch along on Saturday. Remember, for now, keep it all Leicester Fan TV and we'll see you again soon.